Welcome to Inspired Changemakers, a podcast about all the amazing things people are doing to make the world a better place. This podcast is about creating change and the moments that inspired our guests to activate. My name is Julia Healey, and I'm the CEO of United Charitable. Stay tuned to be inspired. All right, Garry, welcome to Inspired Changemakers, where we talk to individuals that really have inspired change, not only in communities, but within themselves and within other people. And so I'm so excited to have you on.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to do your quick bio.
All right.
I'm really condensed because we could say a whole lot. But Garry is a visionary leader and entrepreneur behind the Bridge Eco Village, a project focused on housing, education, and entrepreneurship. A former NFL player for the Seattle Seahawks and Penn State graduate, he leads and empowers the Bridge Foundation and serves on global boards to advance youth empowerment, financial literacy, and sustainability. As an international keynote speaker, he shares insights on urban development, generational wealth, and community revitalization. So,
nice.
There we go.
Thank you. That was awesome.
There we go. I know, right? My reading skills. But in all reality, when we met, I was blown away by your story. Blown away by your story of not only perseverance, but your story of how you can bring the energy to other people. And I say that very specifically because there's, you hear people's stories, you hear people go speak, and you're like, okay. Like, oh, that's a good story. Like, I'm glad that they're doing well. You can change the energy in the room. Like, you have that power.
Thank you.
And so I'm so excited to have you on and talk about this. So, but tell me kind of, where did it all start? Like, where were you raised? Where were you born? What is your story around that?
Well, I'm from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and that is the capital of Pennsylvania. It's not Philly and it's not Pittsburgh, so I got to let people know. Harrisburg on the map. But Harrisburg, unfortunately, when you're talking about desirable places to live, it is not one. A lot of folks experiencing houselessness. The school district isn't ranked very well. It's considered a food desert. And it's been that way for a very long time. Like when I was little, when my mom was little, and my family's always lived below the poverty line. When my mom was younger, it was really bad. They actually lived in an abandoned row home where they would siphon electricity from their neighbors. They lived in one room with a kerosene heater. Mom said she had to wipe soot from her nose often on her way to school, from living in that room. They would lean on armed robberies, just trying to make ends meet, survival mode,
Right.
to the utmost. And so that's how it all started, there in Harrisburg. And Mom taught me a few things when I was growing up. She's, again, the youngest of 9 kids. And so she was a fighter, I think, because of that. But She also calls herself a bullier of bullies. So she taught me how to fight at a very, very young age, to also be a bullier of bullies. And if for no one else, it was actually for my older brother, Victor, who was born with a pretty serious heart condition called tetrahedral. Had to have a bunch of open heart surgery soon after he was born. Saved his life, but in one of those surgeries, he did pass away. They did bring him back, saved his life, but when he was gone, lost enough oxygen. When he came back, he did develop cerebral palsy. So walks a little different, talks a little different. Long story short, Mom's like, look, if kids pick on your brother, I need you to beat them up, right? So that was what she taught me. Be a bullier of bullies, use your stature, for good. Don't just be out there being some big bully athlete yourself. Then she doubles it go. She goes, look, I don't care how big you are, how strong you are, how fast you are. What's your report card looking like? Right? Because Mom actually fought so much that she got kicked out of school indefinitely in 9th grade. And actually at this point, no one in my family had ever graduated from high school. So the fact that she was even like, hey, look, I need you to focus on your academics was huge. And then my dad doubled it up. And he goes, look, C's get degrees, but A's get you paid. Right. And it was more than just like school with that. It was like you can in life just trying to, skimp by through the bare minimum.
Right.
And you may get the bare minimum, right? You'll get your degree or your C. But if you strive, right, and really apply yourself and go that little bit of extra, then that's what's going to get you to A, not just in school, but in life and relationships and business, right? You're going above and beyond, So what he did to help reinforce that moral was pay me, like literally paid me. So every A that I got in school, I got paid for. And in elementary school, had 12 classes. I was a great student, got straight A's. So I would get $60. So my dad, he was a bar manager at the time. So I would go to him with my report card. show him it. And he's always, oh, you're killing me, right? But keep getting these A's, right? And then he would give me my $60 all in ones and a Crown Royal bag.
Oh my God.
Right? Little velvet, purple gold,
with the trim.
like,
Exactly.
And I mean, I had no idea what the bag was for,
Right.
but like, and it's funny because, when I eventually made it to the NFL, I remember one point giving him some money in a Crown Royal bag just to kind of close the loop and say, hey, I appreciate what you did for me that whole time. But like, here you go.
Yeah, here you go.
But I don't know if he was doing this intentionally on a psychological level, right? When you want to change behaviors, you can either have a positive stimulus or a negative stimulus. And not positive as in good or bad, but as in adding or taking away something, right? Like when kids get grounded, you take things away to try and reinforce a better behavior. So in this, he was adding a stimulus, so giving me money to reinforce his academic excellence.
Yeah.
And I think it went a long way. And he did it from the time I was in elementary school all the way through graduating college, where it became $100 an A. And I got straight A's almost my whole life.
You're like, let's go.
Let's go. But beyond that, what the real message was, look, you are more than just an athlete.
Right.
The things that are making you successful on the football field, the basketball court, will also make you successful in the classroom. And we need you to believe that, right? And lean into that. And I'm very grateful for that. So that was really, the start to the story there in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Unfortunately, the school district that I was in wasn't the best. And it got to the point, I remember when I was being in second grade, they contacted my mom. They were like, hey, look, Gary's a great student. He's getting straight A's, but we're starting to notice his behavior slip. And he's starting to distract the other kids and act up, so we think that he's bored. So we're suggesting to move Gary from second grade and put him in fourth grade.
Oh, wow.
Huge jump, for a young kid.
Yeah.
Any kid for that matter. And mom was like, no, this just really confirms that the school district doesn't have the resources that my kid needs to develop into who I believe he will be. So, she did what any other, good mom would do and went to hopefully find better resources and opportunities for their kids, which leads to really the bulk of my childhood. At 8 years old, we hopped in a car and we went to Hershey, Pennsylvania, which is about 20 minutes from Harrisburg. And Hershey, I like to explain to people, was like a combination of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory with like Disney World. Like it's Pleasantville, it's fake, it's commercial, it's odd. But there's also this side of Hershey that people have no idea about, and it's this private boarding school. And I was one who also had no idea about it. So we pull up onto the campus, go into a couple buildings, grab a couple, pamphlets and things, and then we pull up to a mansion. And there's a basketball court there. There's jungle gyms, sandboxes. There's kids playing around. I'm thinking like, it's still kind of summertime. I'm thinking maybe we're going to do, a little summer camp or something. And mom's like, hey, go play. I got to go in here, grab some stuff. I was like, all right, cool. I'm playing. Mom goes in. She's not in there very long. And then she comes out. So I'm like, man, like I wanted to, kind of keep playing. Right. So she's like, hey, keep playing. Like, looks like you're having a good time. I left some stuff at Founders Hall, another building.
Yeah.
I'll be right back to get you and we'll go home. I was like, all right, cool. 8 years old, playing playground. I'll be back. All right, cool. Having a good time, right? And jungle gyms, and I'm getting it, having a good time. And it starts getting darker and darker and darker. Worst case scenario, mom did not come back. Like left me on the playground. And then this random guy comes out of this house that we're at, and he's like, hey, Gary, it's time for you to come in and shower and get ready for bed. And I'm like, shower, bed, stranger danger. I don't know who you are. Like, I'm out of here, right? So I took off, jumped off the swing, and was like sprinting away. And he's chasing after me. Like, no, Gary, this is your home. We're your family. Your mom signed you over to us. And she's been confused, like abandoned. Did I do something wrong? Did I do something right? Like, do I get to see my mom again? Like, who's supposed to protect my brother now? Like, why am I here? Who are y'all? You're not my family. So first couple years being there, I cried myself to sleep every night, right? Holding the picture of my mom, I had one of her perfume boxes, right? Just yearning to be with my family, and again, feeling abandoned and confused and all the other. So the house that I was in, this mansion is actually called a student home. So let me lean into a little bit more with where I was at. So mom had dropped me off at a playground at a private boarding school founded back in 1909 by Milton Hershey, yes, Hershey's Chocolate, and Catherine Hershey, his wife. They actually couldn't have children, but they still wanted to impact the next generation in a significant way, and boy, did they. They committed not just their family's wealth, but their company's wealth to start the Hershey Industrial School for Boys, originally founded for little white orphan boys. That's what the school was for through the 60s when black males were admitted, in the 70s when females were admitted. By the time that I went in the late 90s, no longer just for orphans, but more specifically for families below the poverty line. Single-parent homes, foster kids, orphans, all qualified to go to the school. And in order for you to get accepted, you had to pass, for lack of a better term, like an IQ test. You had to have above-average academic scores. They're kind of looking for these diamonds in the rough, realizing that talent is evenly distributed, but resources and opportunity are not. Right? So I qualified to go to the school with my family's situation and also got accepted because of my academic scores and had no idea. And mom intentionally didn't tell me, right? She knew, I was her little rider. Like, I was always with her, and she just knew if she said what was going to happen and how I vividly remember, like, the days leading up, like her emotions, she was kind of a little sad. I remember her, like, writing my name in, like, my underwear.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
like things
I vividly remember what those boxers look like.
And you're her youngest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I have an 8-year-old right now, so like I am imagining this through her eyes, the strength your mother had though to know that this would have been a better way for you.
Yeah.
But at 8, you can't like that. There's no way that that's in your mind, right?
Not at first, no. But I did quickly realize what was going on, right? And why I was there and the other kids that had experiences like I had and what the school is about. I'm a curious kid. I always say I'm a nerd trapped in an athlete's body, and that's just something that's been in my temperament since I was young. I've just always been a curious, questioning things and finding answers. So I figured it out within about 2 years of being there, right? Like really, really figured it out and really immersed myself in the culture of the school and everything that it had to offer. And I'm happy I did because that's really what saved me, right? Because I was always homesick. I wanted to go home. And if you're always sitting there thinking about that, like, what else are you going to focus on? Like,
and I've heard you talk about it before, that there's like a specific time frame or mind shift that you really needed to have to be able to see what opportunities were around you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is it about, or what did you say to yourself, or what do you think was that flip or whatever?
I remember it was I think I was in about maybe later in my 4th grade year. And like I found myself just always being alone in the student home that I was in. I was in elementary school. They were all in high school. And I remember like stealing some kids' Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't, and it, I was like, I'm a good kid. Like, what am I doing? Like, why am I? And it was just because I was kind of aloof and I wanted attention.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I can't,
Yeah.
That's not like, let me immerse myself in what the school has to offer so I'm not homesick, right? And I can make some friends and, be around some kids my age. And that's what I did, right? So certainly sports, and Milton Hershey School didn't have football until high school.
Wow.
So I did ice hockey and soccer and swimming and diving.
Any baseball? No baseball?
Baseball. I was a pitcher. In high school, I ended up getting recruited by the majors.
You're diving.
What? I'm a phenomenal swimmer.
Let's go.
What? I got built-in paddles and flippers. What?
Right. Well, you see Michael Phelps' wingspan.
You know what I'm saying? Broad shoulders. Yeah. Let's get it. Yeah. And also did ballet, jazz, and tap dance.
Yeah.
For 10 years and learned how to play the piano and the guitar. I was in choir. I was in band. Like, did everything. And again, it was just so I wasn't homesick. But the school, this is where it gets interesting. The school offers these things very intentionally.
Right.
Right. Beyond it being this cost-free residential school where you live there, where they provide all your medical and dental.
Right.
They've also realized they got to find the intersection of your hobbies, your interests, your talents, and then they teach you how to monetize them through a career technical explorations program. Right. And they call this the whole child approach.
Right.
Right. And on our basketball team, we called it the whole man concept. And it's really a core part of the culture of the school and these 4 pillars of mind, body, spirit, and community. Like I said, I was immersing myself in these things to not be homesick, but the school, again, very intentional, very structured on what they're doing and how they offer it to the kids.
It's also called buy-in.
For sure.
Right. Like, your environment is so much better when you buy into it, like, and everything that it has to offer.
Yes. And you can see that in the kids at the school. Like the kids, obviously, that come earlier do better in the school and then even after, too.
Because they buy in earlier.
Yes, for sure.
And with this approach, like right now, a lot of messaging that's going to young kids is like, you're good at one thing, like one thing, one thing, one thing. And I love this idea that you are a tap dancer, right? As well as playing football, as well as playing piano, or you know what I mean? You can be more than one thing. And giving you the space to have that, that's incredibly powerful. So now you really have taken advantage of all of the things that the school had to offer, and you're immersed in it. And now you have to pick your next chapter. Yeah. What did that look like?
So the next chapter at Milton Hershey School is when you get into high school. Originally called the Hershey Industrial School for Boys. So let's focus on the industrial aspect of it. Milton Hershey himself realized the importance of trades. So it's built into the school, into the deed, that you actually can't graduate and get your diploma until you get nationally certified in your trade.
That's so awesome.
And they call it now career technical explorations. There's all the building construction trades are in there, but they've also got architecture, agriculture, business, culinary arts, drama, graphic communication technology, video production. And again, in order for you to get your diploma, there's 4 things. You had to get nationally certified in a trade. You had to have above a C average. You had to have your driver's license. And you had to pass a swimming test. And once you did those 4 things, you graduate, get your diploma. Icing on top here, cherry on top. Once you do that, it unlocks and qualifies you for what the school calls the Continuing Education Scholarship, which meant that whatever college, university, trade school you get accepted to, the school will pay for the entire thing except for $2,000, right? So I'm sure anyone listening to this is like, dude, does this school actually exist? I told you in the beginning, this is like Pleasantville, Willy Wonka, Disney World together, but very intentional. Yes.
He put all of the trust in the state together to make sure that this was self-funding.
They take no money from the state.
So it's been how many years? Like
115.
Like 115 years. That's why estate planning is so important, people know.
Oh, what?
But no, for real, like generational wealth and making sure that you have an idea that can make an impact. What year did you go to the school?
2009.
They have no idea who you are or what
100 years
exactly.
After,
yeah. But that's why it's so important. So now, and I love that they made you pay $2,000 of it, because that's putting your skin in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But not too much that it's overwhelming.
Exactly.
Just enough that you could pick up that, hours at Starbucks or wherever you wanted to. I'm in Seattle, so I had to say that.
For sure. No. A phenomenal model nonetheless. Right. So I was kind of curious, as I think anybody is, where are the rest of these campuses at? Why is there just one? Milton Hershey School campus in the middle of Pennsylvania. Right. Like, and then moreover, my bigger question was, where are the other towns like Hershey's? Right. Like, where's Coca-Cola's town?
Oh, of course.
Where's McDonald's town?
Amazon, yeah.
Any of the other family offices, where are your towns at? Because what Milton Hershey realized over 100 years ago, that it was more than just about a focus on jobs. Yeah. Right? More than just a focus on his chocolate factory. He created an entire ecosystem for not just his workers, but their families too. Right. Right. He created places to work, eat, live, learn, play. And what it yielded to this day, some of the highest property values in the state are in Hershey. Some of the lowest cancer rates in Hershey. Some of the highest graduation rates of a public high school in the state in Hershey. Right. International destination. It's a global brand. Shaq was just there a couple of days ago.
Oh, of course.
But what I'm most proud of is Milton Hershey School has one of, if not the largest educational endowments in the world. That's great. Beyond Harvard, beyond Yale, is Milton Hershey School. Because to your point, what Milton Hershey realized was charity, in my opinion, is kind of a broken model, right? And he created a social enterprise. Like every time you've ever bought a Reese's cup, a Hershey bar, a Hershey Kiss, you've actually been funding this philanthropic venture that will last in perpetuity. Right. Like, you want to talk about legacy.
Let's go.
The blueprint was laid over 100 years ago. Like, what are we doing? Right. Why aren't we investing in infrastructure and education in these communities? Like, again, talent is evenly distributed, but resources and opportunity. The kids that come out of Milton Hershey School have worked for presidents, have been doctors, lawyers, professional athletes, coaches, teachers, impacting the world because of an investment that those 2 individuals made in people that they had no idea would exist one day. That's powerful.
right? And just knowing that somebody had the belief that it could be done. And how many people do you think said, oh, no, you should have just left it, or you should have just did that? Like, can you imagine back then, like, this is a brand new idea. He owns like a chocolate factory. Do you know what I mean? Like, all of these things, like, no. Do it this way.
Yeah.
And just having that strength and that vision and belief in himself and belief of what it could be.
Yeah.
That has now lasted 115 years.
And it's crazy because I'm sure there were so many naysayers. A lot of people don't know, but before Milton Hershey got into chocolate, like he failed many times at like caramel and trying to do a bunch of other things before that. Like his family's looking at him like he's crazy. And now he's like, wait, like chocolate was hard enough, champ. You want to start a school in a park in a town? Like, bro, have a seat. You know, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
You know, but he kept pushing. And it's so inspiring to me, you know, like, yeah, one man can change the world. One person can change the world with the right people around them.
Right. And then, but do you think having that Pleasantville experience, now you have to leave, right? Now you have to like actually go where the world isn't fair and just and isn't, and I see this a lot. Sometimes kids are raised to be very forward thinking about like what their life could be. Mm-hmm. Let me give all of these tools of everything that could be. Some kids are raised to not think past the day. Very specific, right? Mm-hmm. So now you're out in the world, right? You've already are prepared. What did you get your trade in? What is your trade skill?
Yeah, I double majored, if you will, in graphic communication technology and video production. I actually wanted to be an astronaut my whole life. Like, I'm legitimately a nerd trapped in an athlete's body. Like, I was reading encyclopedias. Like, you can ask me what you want about any planet. What? Let's get it. But true story, got too big.
Yeah.
Too big to go to the Air Force, to be in the cockpit, to become an astronaut, right? Like, and my eyesight's not perfect. So there's a lot of things against me. So I figured that if I couldn't travel to these distant worlds, then maybe I could create them, right?
Okay.
And what I meant by that was being a video game designer.
Yeah. Well, that's so fun.
So I did, I got certified in Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, Final Cut Pro, Adobe Premiere, right? You name it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Which honestly is very beneficial today.
Yeah.
Yeah. And web design, flyers, whatever else you got going on. I'm happy that I got those skills from the school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank United Charitable for sponsoring today's Inspired Changemakers podcast. United Charitable is a national nonprofit that focuses on guiding you on your charitable journey. Whether you like to simply streamline your giving or you like to create your own charitable initiative, United Charitable has the knowledge and resources to support you. If you'd like to learn more, check out the link in our bio.
So yeah, now I gotta go into the real world, right? We gotta leave Pleasantville, and I'll plant this seed here very intentionally. The name for my company, The Bridge, comes from this exact transition.
Got it.
Because as you can imagine, these kids, one, they're coming from very, so they call them ACEs, these adverse childhood experiences, right? Yeah. Any kid at the school has gone through these experiences. So the school very intentionally, normalizes therapy, just wraps all the wraparound services that we need to really become who we are. But our families are still the environments that they were before, right? So long story short, we go to the school, get all these resources, get educated, have this loving environment in Pleasantville, and then 6 p.m. the day you graduate, you need to be off campus.
Garry.
So I'm like, well, wait, where's the bridge from Milton Hershey to the real world?
Yeah.
Like, why is there not a space that we can go where we can work, eat, live, learn, and play together?
Right.
Maybe start a business together. We all have different trades and expertise.
Yeah.
Like, we need to be in that environment, not back.
Yeah.
Because there was an issue. Like, a lot of kids would end up graduating from Milton Hershey, certainly, obviously get accepted to these colleges, universities, and then fail.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait, no, we had a great education. Like, but it's the freedom and it's less structure. And I, luckily, with football, still had that structure. So that seed there, I wanted to plant that. There were some points of pain that I saw along the way. Some questions I had. Where are the other Milton Hershey School campuses? Why aren't these other companies investing like Hershey did? Right. Where's the bridge from Milton Hershey to the real world? Questions, complaints, essentially, right? Which I'll get to that. So at this transition, though, I've earned a bunch of college scholarships, athletically and academically, to go to Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Alabama, Clemson, Penn State, Ohio State, you name it. Football, basketball, baseball, was getting recruited by the majors. Like, I can pick where I want to go. This is awesome. This is a great opportunity. But I had 3 requirements. One, I actually want to be close to home.
Wow.
Like,
Okay.
I've been at a boarding school for my whole life. Like, if I want to go home, I want to go home. If my family wants to come see me play, I want them to be able to come see me play. One, close, and then also, we're still broke. So, like, they can't be catching flights across the country. So, I want to be close to home. Two, I want to make it to the NFL. Right? Like, if I'm going to be playing at this level and commit my body and my time to this game, like, I want to get paid one day. And this is before the NIL, which I tell you what, if that was alive when I was in school, we would have took advantage of that. But so that was number two. I want a chance to make it to the NFL. So as much as I might want to go to Harvard or Yale, they're not churning out NFL players.
Yeah.
But third, though, and most important, I need my degree to mean something.
Right.
Like, I don't want to go to a university where they're known for just pushing their athletes through and they pop out in the back end with a kinesiology degree or something. Like, what? Like, what are we? You're feeding to the fact that I can't go. So I'm definitely not going somewhere like Ohio State, right?
Right.
Like, shots fired. Bang, bang. No, they generate some great football players. I will say that. But, that's what I'll say. So I went to the greatest university in the land, Penn State. Penn State. And the coach at the time was the great Joe Paterno. And he had been the coach there for 60 years. 60, not 16. 60 years as the coach. And coach had this thing he called the grand experiment. Right. Which I think after 60 years is not really an experiment anymore. Right. It's definitely more of a case study and a culture. Yeah. Right. And what it meant was not only would Penn State attract some of the top athletes in the nation. Right. Come tear you up on the football field, be a top 25 program year after year after year. But we'd also graduate over 90% of our athletes. And we'd be academic All-Americans, which means you have dean's lists and you're also smacking people on the football field like a real good player, right? That's the standard here. Right. This is a program where they check classes every single day. Like, even the big 600-person lecture halls. Like, we're football players. We stick out. Like, we're going to see you or not. And if we don't, you don't get to practice. That's crazy. And if you're not practicing, you're not playing. I don't care if you're the starting quarterback or you're third string. You're going to get that degree. Right. And to me, that sounded a lot like what I grew up with. Like, the whole child approach, the whole man concept, you know, like, what? The grand experiment? I'm in it. Let's get it. Yeah. Right. So I went to Penn State. And, while at Penn State, I triple majored in business development, PR and advertising, and industrial psychology. Again, nerd. And I mean, they're paying for it, right? So why not get as much as I can get? Right. And college was a great time, but it was also the most adverse time. Like, my mantra is perseverance through adversity, and some of my darkest moments were at Penn State. Got 3 degrees, right? People are like, dude, how'd you play football and get 3 degrees, right? Well, here's how. My redshirt freshman year, I was a tight end, catching passes, trucking folks. Had a whole fan section called Gilliam's Island, right? Folks would camp out like days before the game. It was first come, first serve for the first row. So they literally outside the stadium with their tents. That's crazy. Camped out days before so they could be first in line to go hang my banner. So I'd come by and, take a picture with them and give them a high five. Like, yo, what? Division I, college football? Like, I'm starting as a freshman? What? It's going to be a good time. Right. Right? And it was. And then I got hurt. Right, about halfway through that redshirt freshman year, I blew my knee out, like my entire knee, ACL, MCL, meniscus, patella. Had 3 bone bruises because of how my knee had hyperextended.
How old are you?
20. Oh my God. 20. This is 2010. It was supposed to just be 2 surgeries, right? Do the MCL. Mm-hmm. Meniscus, patella, let it heal up, and then do the ACL after. And then that's another 9 months of recovery. But in between the 2 surgeries, I actually developed a staph infection in my bone marrow. So now not only was my life on the line, my career on the line, but my life was on the line. It was dark. It was tough. And it's in those moments where you realize that no one else can help you. Right. Like, as much of a team player as I am, as much as a family person as I am, there are moments where it's just you and God. That's it. And really God going to be there, but you're going to have to do the work. Like, you're not going to do the leg extension and the squats and go through this triple extension board. Like, he's provided you the canvas to make the painting, champ. Get painting. And I wanted to quit, right? You know, I remember there was one point, I just didn't feel like a whole man.
Right.
You know, mind, body, spirit, community. Like my grades were slipping. I was missing classes. I was missing workouts.
Yeah.
Mental health was depleted. Like spiritually, like who's God? Like, I don't know, what are you talking about?
Right.
Like, I'm here by myself.
Right.
So I called back to Milton Hershey School, right? I wanted to stop playing football, and I was like, man, I still have a full scholarship
Right.
from Milton Hershey. Like, I don't even have to be playing in the grass, like trying to, like, what? I'm done with this.
Right.
So I called back to Milton Hershey, and I called Mrs. Debbie Ainsworth, and she was the leader of our religious programs. I was a Sunday school teacher in high school, so she was my boss, and she was also the wife of our athletic director. So she was at all of our football games, all of our basketball games, right? Everything. She was pretty much like my second mom,
right?
You know, and with how I was feeling, I needed somebody to talk to, especially spiritually, right? How far I felt away from God. And so I called her, and no sooner she picked up the phone, right, I just broke down crying, right? With the woe is me, like, I'm done, I quit. Like, why me? Like, I've been a man of God, I've been a whole man. Like,
why is this happening to me?
I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, I'm done. And she said a couple things, not that I hadn't heard them before, but who it came from, the way I was feeling, and how she said it, right? She goes, listen. She goes, I hear you, Gary, but please listen. God gives the hardest battles to the strongest soldiers. And what you're currently going through has nothing to do with you, but it will be a testimony for the soldiers you lead one day. She said, Gary, there is an anointing on your life that you're not going to understand today. But I promise you, if you control what you can control, your mindset, your effort, and your character, God will take care of the rest. Needed it. Needed it.
That's so hard. That understanding of our power, of any individual power, is so, but like to hear that at 20, when you have achieved so much, but now you're set back and you've already felt like you've already been through enough, right? Your whole childhood, and you're hearing it again, and you have somebody that you've loved and respected for many years say, there's an anointment on your life. You will not understand it today. Battle.
That's it.
And you had to create a new way of thinking to get yourself to battle. Because sometimes just to show up for yourself, it's easier for me. I'll say this from personal experience. It is easier for me to show up for other people that need me. Mm-hmm. Right?
I agree.
Sometimes showing up for yourself is the hardest thing that you can do. What was that one step after that conversation? Did you say, okay, I'm going to do the 60, like you made a whole map? Like what was your like mindset to get yourself back in the game?
That's a great segue. Actually, both things that you just said. And the game, football, is what brought it back down to earth, right? And there was something that my coaches, this is what popped right in my head right after she said it. I was like, oh, I've heard that before in a different way. Right? Our high school football coach, Robert Geyer, his last name is Geyer. He had these things that we all call Geyerisms. And this was one of them. He goes, I remember, we all the time. He'd bring us, it was after practice, he'd sit us down, we'd be on a knee. Whether it was after a win or after a loss. And he would always go, everybody wants to be 10-0. Mm-hmm. Right? Everybody wants to be undefeated.
Yeah.
But before you can be 10-0,
yeah, you
have to be 1-0.
Right.
He goes, and in order to be 1-0,
you have to be 2-0, yeah.
You need to win the play in front of you. And in order to win the play in front of you, you need to do your job. You need to control what you can control.
So hard.
Right? And the bigger, broader thing is, I want to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But you won't until you win this play.
Right.
And you string those plays together. And you win those games. And you string those games together. And then you go not make mistakes in the Super Bowl.
Right.
And you'll probably win. Right? And like that, the Super Bowl in this case was just being able to walk.
Right.
You know? Because little did I know, but that one injury ended up being 5 different surgeries. And it put me out of football for 2 years. 2 whole seasons. That's half my college football career. And then to make matters a little bit worse, right when I was coming back was right when Coach Joe Paterno, again, who was there for 60 years.
Stepped down.
No.
He got fired.
He got fired. via voicemail. Yeah, crazy time for the university, in the state, like personally, just a lot going on. And a lot of different things
and they
going on.
didn't know who you were then, right? Like the new coach coming.
What? Yeah.
So you got this kid that's been fighting for injury for 2 years. He's now a junior. Are you a junior?
Yep.
And you're walking back in.
Yep.
And this coach is, and you're like, "Hey, coach."
But wait, check. This is what makes it even more interesting. Who the coach was, where he came from, and what offense was about to be implemented. This is Bill O'Brien.
Okay.
Who was the offensive coordinator for the Patriots.
Oh, wow.
Who are now bringing that offense. Remember, I'm a tight end.
Right. So
I am the Rob Gronkowski.
Yeah.
Or supposed to be at least,
right.
of Penn State.
Yeah.
And I haven't played in 2 years.
Oh, my God.
They don't know who I am.
Right.
I got the body, right?
Right.
6'6", 265. Like,
Yeah.
he's smart. What? Yeah.
Okay.
Good luck.
So you have to walk onto that field. You literally have to walk onto that field. What do you write to yourself? What do you say to yourself? What did you do to script yourself to be prepared for that moment?
Yeah. It goes back to a conversation I had with the doctor who did all my surgeries.
Yeah.
And it was right after the ACL surgery. He calls me in his office. He's like, "Hey, Gil, I want to talk to you." He's like, "We got in, did your ACL. Everything went great. But as we expected, your meniscus is pretty much gone. It won't come back, right? So you may have some pain from that." He goes, "You got a lot of scar tissue already, and it's only going to get worse. I tried to clear as much out as I could. The infection just, caused a lot of problems." And I was like, "Well, yeah, okay, yeah, we know this. We're not saying anything new to me." He's like, "I just want you to know that your journey back will be tough."
Oh, God.
And I was like, "Well, okay." I was like, "Well, all right, doc, like, give me like a probability. What % chance do you think that I'll get back to the player that I used to be, right? I'm a nerd again. Give me some numbers to grasp onto." And doc just kind of looks at me and he, kind of with a somber face, like, "Look, like, I can't do that. Like, as a doctor, I'm not supposed to do that. But at this point, you're like my son." He's like, "So I'll be honest with you." He's like, "I've been doing this for many years. And your injury with the infections, the worst I've ever seen." He goes, "Gary, I might give you a 10% chance to get back to the player you used to be." And I perked up. I said, "Doc, 10%? I was like, "I'm from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. No one in my family has ever graduated from high school, let alone be triple majoring on a full scholarship in front of you." I was like, "You know what the chances of that were? Probably less than 1.
Right.
And you're giving me 10? I'll take that." Right? But there were moments where that 90% felt real heavy.
Right.
And there were those moments of walking back out onto the field and realizing, like, wait, this is what Doc was talking beyond the physical stuff. There's mental stuff. Like, can I make the cut? Can I do this? Like, those are the things that you have to battle through. Like the imposter syndrome. Like, do I even belong on this field anymore? Like, that's the 90% that you have to face.
And it's the worthiness, right? So I think a lot of kids all the time try to keep proving that they're worthy. They try to prove that they're worthy rather than God, for whatever you believe in, we are worthy as human beings. And how do we show up in our best self? It's such a different mindset, right? And so did you get along with this new coach? Was it easy as can be? He saw you play once and you were like, or did you have to fight for a spot?
I did eventually earn my starting spot back. And again, 6'6", 265. I'm literally the exact same size as Gronk. Like, even though I have, a bad wheel, like I can still gallop. Like, I'm still, and played well.
Right.
And again, I'm smart. So what really put me ahead, not that every player at Penn State is smart. Again, that's part of what draws you there. But I have a photographic memory, like my retention is high. So like taking in the pro playbook, I was just so much further ahead than some of the other guys. And as a tight end, you don't only have to perfect the blocking side like an offensive lineman, but you've also got to perfect the passing tree.
The routes,
Right. And you got to understand coverages, which eventually helped me tremendously as an offensive tackle. I will tell you that. But in this moment, Coach O'Brien taught me so much about football. And honestly, if it wasn't for him coming in the moment that he came in my career, I don't think that I would have made it to the NFL.
Really?
Honestly. Like the football IQ that I got from him at that moment, it set me apart and continued to as a pro.
And so in the draft, right? So you've earned your you've shined at Penn State. You've earned your spot. Now you're about to go in the draft. How is that mentality for you?
So there was one more hurdle before the draft.
I don't know if I would have survived, Garry. I would have been like out. I would have been like, all right. I would have given up and like.
Hey, there's an anointing, right? Yeah, get in the game.
The parallel parking for driving may have taken me out of the Hershey School.
Hey,
but go ahead.
They did a good job of teaching us. Though,
Yeah, right?
The treading water for 5 minutes got a lot of folks.
Yeah.
No, so the last hurdle was actually, so I came back, right? Earned my starting spot back as a tight end. But had a real conversation with myself about the 90% and the 10% that Doc was talking about. Physically, I just wasn't able to get as fast as I used to be.
Right.
I wasn't as explosive as I used to be. And if I'm going to be a tight end in the NFL,
you've got to have, right.
Like these dudes are, what?
Yeah.
And that's not me. So I was like, man, like I got to, what do I do? I'm 6'6", 265. I got a good frame. Coach, can I switch positions?
Wow.
This is going into my senior year.
Garry.
Can I switch to offensive tackle? I had a one-on-one with Coach O'Brien after that first season, just him and I, moving around the depth chart. Like, Coach, look, we got this tight end, this tight end, this tight end. He'd be the F, he'll be the Y. And eventually those guys that I was talking about made it to the NFL as tight ends.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I'm like, Coach, look, like I can be an offensive tackle and I can do this and I can do this. And he's like, man, he's looking at me like, this is like Rob Gronkowski saying, look, I don't want to play tight end anymore. Right. I want to go play offensive tackle. And they're like, wait, what? So I eventually convinced him and he let me switch. And in 3 months, I gained 40 pounds, which in college is not too hard, right?
Right.
But the extra hurdle was this one, was during spring practice, we're doing conditioning, and I tear my calf muscle. Which I'm happy it wasn't my knee, and I'm happy it wasn't my Achilles, right? But like it still was an inconvenience. I was out for like 4 or 5 weeks, which was all the spring ball. Long story short, switched positions, got hurt, didn't have a chance to earn my starting spot back until right before the season, which I did.
Yeah.
But now I'm an offensive tackle. I'm no longer a tight end. And this is what I got to go play in the NFL, like, and only have about 3-4 months of experience until the NCAA contacts me. And they're like, hey, Garry, look, your injury and complications were so bad, we're going to give you an extra year to be in college.
That's where this 3 degrees.
No. I had already finished my 3 bachelor's degrees.
Oh, my God. You get your master's.
So I was like, man, I guess it's the NBA, baby, right? Until, this is what? Let's keep going. Coach O'Brien calls me in his office. He's like, hey, Garry, I want to talk to you. And I want to let you know first, as one of the leaders of our team.
I got a shot. No.
I've been offered a head coaching job in the NFL for the Houston Texans, and I'm going to take it. It's like, Coach, you've been here for 2 years.
Your predecessor has only been here for 60, but it's okay.
Right. Like, bro, you got 58 to go. He's like, no, this was always, I've always wanted to be a head coach. And again, he was the offensive coordinator for the Patriots, won Super Bowls. Like, yes, hey. And then I'm thinking, like, good and bad things. Like, hey, do I want to stay at Penn State? I can get an MBA. It's going to be paid for. But I got to go through another coaching switch. I could get hurt.
But if he's in the draft and he's a new coach, like, then you're thinking maybe he'll draft you.
Exactly. He knows me. He knows my story. He knows what I've been through. He knows, like, what?
Yeah.
I think I'll take my shot at the NFL.
Okay.
Right? But, it's always got to have some hurdles, right? So because of this conversation, the pros and the cons, I mulled over the decision for long enough and declared for the NFL late, which meant that the NFL had no idea that I was actually trying to get in the NFL. So I was not invited to the NFL Combine. And there's literally like a 1-to-1 correlation of those who perform in the Combine and those who get drafted. Like it's almost 1-to-1.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, well, I got one shot. Penn State's Pro Day. Right, which is like the Combine, but at Penn State. Luckily, Penn State, again, great university, top players, they're coming. All the scouts are coming. And at this year, we have a player, Allen Robinson, right? Phenomenal wide receiver. Like, we're going to have everyone there, looking at Allen. But they have to look at all of us. Right. And I know this. So This is before the draft, right? My pro day is April. The draft is May.
Mm-hmm.
It's currently January. I dig into my inbox because I know that if I'm going to make it to the NFL, like I can't be Mr. Pudgy offensive lineman who's tearing his calf muscle doing gassers. Like that is not it.
Right.
I need to tighten up. So, it's such a cool connection here. When all the crazy stuff had come out after Joe was fired and they gave the university sanctions.
Yeah.
Before they gave us sanctions, people were trying to figure out what they would be, right? They're going to give Penn State the death penalty, no football for years, take away our scholarships, allow us to transfer with no penalty, like just different things. And before any of it came out, I tweeted out, I was like, look, no matter what happens at Penn State, I'm staying here. Somebody replied back, oh, well, like, that's cool and all, but like, what are you going to do if there's no football? And I responded back. I was like, well, I'll be getting my multiple degrees, sir. I don't major in football. And it went viral, right? It was like the epitome of like success with honor and the grand experiment and what Penn State players are about, right? Because then I think maybe a couple weeks before that, there was an Ohio State player that was like, why do I got to go to class? Like, I'm here to play football, right? So it was just like two totally, and it's like, this is, so anyway, I got a bunch of fans and followers from that. They're like, who is this guy? We love him. We'll look into him. One of those individuals was a woman by the name of Lisa Rado.
Okay.
She had graduated from Penn State years before. Her and her family were huge Penn State fans, come to all the games. And she contacted me. It was like, hey, if there's ever anything you need in the nutritional world, let me know. And so I contacted her. I was like, yeah, hey, is that offer still on the table? I would love to, lose fat, gain some muscle, but stay about the same weight. Yeah. And she was like, yeah, don't we all? Like, that's almost impossible. Right. And she was like, look, yeah, I'll help you. Yeah. She goes, now I can give you a meal plan and hope you follow workouts and, do all the things. She's like, but better yet, honestly, you need to just come to California. Okay. And I was like, yeah, well, that sounds good, but like, I'm broke. My family's broke. Yeah. I have a small agent. Like, I'm not signed to some massive, they're not going to pay for that. Yeah. She was like, look, she goes, I love who you are. And so does my family. We'll pay for everything.
I love that it's been two women. I'm just going to say it.
Oh, bridge builders.
Like two women.
Oh, what?
That have made such an impact because you just opened yourself up and made. Neither one of these people would have been able to give to you what they needed unless you reached out and you said, I need something.
Spot on. That's a fact.
Let's go. Okay.
That's a fact.
So she says, okay.
So yeah, she's like, look, so she lives in Manhattan Beach, California.
Beautiful. Okay.
So not a bad place to be, right? Yeah. So she's like, look, I'll take care of the flight. She lives in a massive house, like a couple blocks from the beach. She goes, you can live in my house. I have a wing that you can live in. Yeah. I'm a nutritionist and I also cook. She goes, I'll prepare all your food. I'll buy all the food for you. Right. I'm connected to a nutritionist and a doctor. As soon as you get here, we're going to go get some blood work. Right. I want to find out exactly what's going on in your body. Right. I'm going to connect you to a chiropractor and this doctor. I know you've had injuries. Like, she knew everything. Right. Like, she had been waiting for me to reach, like, was ready. So I'm like, you know what? Like, let's do it. Wow. I got 3 months. And the first 3 weeks, I lost 19 pounds of fat and gained 21 pounds of muscle.
That's insane. That's insane.
And I have the in-body results to prove it. Like the electrode, like not like, oh, I did the pinch test. No. And the picture, like the
in-body,
So I sent it back to my agent. I was like, yo, look, this is 3 weeks. Imagine 3 months. Like, make the investment. Don't make Lisa keep paying for this stuff. Like, this is what y'all are doing. She's made an investment. I need y'all to as well, right? So convince my agent to make the investment in me to be out there for those 3 months.
That's all we got time for today, but don't worry. There is more to this conversation. Be sure to check out part 2, where we'll pick up right where we left off.
I would like to thank Athletes Charitable for sponsoring today's Inspired Changemakers podcast. Athletes Charitable offers a concierge membership service that provides the tools and resources to build a legacy through service. Our athlete-led team has the first-hand experience and expertise to provide hands-on support that simplifies the entire process for athletes and entertainers to reach their social entrepreneurship goals and create lasting impact in their communities. To learn more, check out the link in the bio.
Find Inspired Changemakers on Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn, and comment on all the awesome things you are doing to make this world a better place. Don't forget to subscribe.